Green Door Gourmet in the Green Door Gourmet kitchen with the luscious Green Door Gourmet produce. And we're brought to you by Amber Falls Winery in Hampshire, Tennessee, with a tasting room at Opry Mills Mall. They bring you this show about lifestyle, living your best lifestyle at home.
Yes, things delicious, beautiful, kind, and generous.
See, I love all that. We're going to be right back with more of that.
Discover one-of-a-kind wines in a special place naturally made for relaxation. Amber Falls Winery and Cellars. Descend into our underground cellar and taste award-winning wines. Cajun Best is one of our most intriguing creations. Real Cajun spices are used to give this sweet red blend its distinctive flavor. Get away to where good times and good wines come naturally. Amber Falls Winery and Cellars, where a great start leads to a great finish.
We are not just chicken. We started a movement, raised on family farms, celebrated chefs, proud parents. We are 18 years of hard work, higher standards, with no antibiotics ever. Springer Mountain Farms, fresh chicken. Find at your local grocer.
Being a family farm, you look at all the land you farm from a different point of view. In farming, you're always thinking about the health of your soil. Soil is a living environment, so that plant growing in it is taking things from the soil and putting things back in the soil. And how then you treat that crop that's out there with being conservative on your herbicides, only spraying when you need, and maintaining water erosion, wind erosion, and doing those things keeps that soil in balance and keeps it a healthy environment for all the organisms that live in it. I think that's part of being a family farm. You kind of have that point of view more so than just what can I get out of this year. So I want to treat that soil so that I know that it's going to be healthy for generations down the line.
Hi there, this is Dalton Quigley, owner of Quigley's Landscaping, and I know that when you're looking to hire someone to do a project, you want someone who's trustworthy, someone who has good reviews, amazing pictures of projects, and we have just that. So today, on this video, I want to show you just a quick clip of one of our projects, and I'll see you on the other side. Wasn't that beautiful? And we can do that for you. Whether I'm about to have an appointment with you right now or I've just left the appointment. Just know we do amazing quality work. Our price is always reasonable for what we're providing. And I look forward to doing business with you. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Diane Dillbeck with Organize Nashville, and I help busy moms like you. The way I like to think about this is home security. So we've got to have preventative and defensive measures in place so that we can be successful in our battle against clutter. First thing I want to talk about is the preventative strategy. The preventative strategy are the motion lights that come on when someone walks into your yard, or your dog that barks and scares the robber away so he never comes into your house. In a recent video, I mentioned that you could go on a 30-day spending freeze. Yes, this is an instant way to decrease the amount of clutter coming into your home. But a less extreme way of going cold turkey with your purchases is to just merely pause before you purchase. And what I mean by that is, again, using Mr. Money Mustache's 3 questions that he uses at a point of purchase to prevent overspending that we're going to use when it comes to keeping clutter from coming into our house. Let's go over those 3 questions. Question 1. Will buying this really improve my overall lifetime happiness? Question 2. Is there another more efficient way to meet the same need? Question 3. Can the same benefit be had if I delay purchase? Now, he uses these like a decision factory, basically a filter that he asks these 3 things before he makes a purchase. And so that's the way that I want you to use this strategy to prevent clutter from coming into your home. The second part of this is the defensive strategy. This strategy is when beep, 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 the intruder has entered the house, the alarm is going off and trying to scare him away. Well, this is when we've already got clutter that's come into our house. Now, the preventive strategy doesn't work 100% of the time because, well, we're not robots, and circumstances change, our needs change, our kids' sizes change. Technology is constantly evolving. So it's no wonder that even when we do our best job preventing, we still have clutter. So we have to have this defensive strategy in place to be successful. What I'm going to share with you now are some signs that clutter is building and we need to pause and declutter. You have a lot of clothing you're waiting to fit again. You're misplacing items that you commonly use, like your phone, your keys. You have a lot of duplicates. You have clothes sitting on a chair or a bench for weeks at a time. And last but not least, you're starting to get a little sentimental about your junk. If these ring true for you, then all that's happened is you've identified that, hey, we've got some clutter and we need to employ some declutter strategies. So just to recap, your strategy for preventing clutter from coming into your home in the first place is to pause before you purchase by asking yourself these 3 questions. And on the back end, your defensive strategy is to be aware and look for these signs that you need to declutter. I hope this will help you employ both some preventative and defensive strategies and help you win the war on clutter.
This holiday season, the largest lantern event in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. After sunset, come see more than 1,000 Chinese lanterns. All new designs including mythical beasts, a fantastical North Pole village, even a dragon soaring over your head. Welcome back to Zoo Illumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
It's tater time in Tennessee. Tater time, Tennessee.
Or it could be, we're talking taters. We're talking taters today. We're talking taters. The Green Door Gourmet and the Taters all day with Devon
And Sylvia.
All right, we're talking taters, Devon.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of potatoes, and they're all coming in season right now. If you go anywhere to buy potatoes, you're going to go, wait a minute. Especially if you send your significant other out to buy potatoes.
Don't do that. Don't send them to buy potatoes without a very specific list, and tell them to buy the ones in the bag, because you'll know you're going to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're a tater expert.
Yeah, if you're married to a tater expert, that's a whole different thing. Now we're going to talk, it's the holiday season, so we're going to talk sweet potatoes?
We're going to talk sweet potatoes, but I wanted to give an ode to the workhorse of the kitchen, which is the regular potato, because you're going to see those as mashed potatoes, you're going to see those as roasted potatoes. So I just wanted to briefly talk about the 3 main workhorses of the kitchen. Okay, first of all, your Yukon Gold. They're going to be your potatoes that are going to be light and fluffy, and when a recipe calls for something like that, you're going to use the Yukon Gold. If you happen to get one that's got a little spot like that, just cut that off. It's still a perfectly fine potato. So this is your Yukon Gold. Your red potatoes, a lot of people use those to mash, but they're going to be a little heavier when you mash them. They've got more starch in them. So I prefer to use a white potato when I'm doing mashed potatoes, unless the only ones I have in the house are red. And guess what? I'm going to use a red potato.
That's all my taters.
That's what I got. That's what I'm going to use. And then this is a standard arch potato, as my dad would call it, in the mountains in North Carolina, or Irish potato. Utility potato you hear in the restaurant industry. That's one that you're going to make into French fries, peel, make potato chips out of, nice thin, bake it, all that
russet
sort of stuff.
is this a russet?
Russet, yeah. So those are the main three regular taters. We've covered that ground. Now we're going to talk about sweet potatoes. They come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. We have not yet gotten our purple sweet potatoes out of the ground, but they're coming. And then we also have a white sweet potato. They have totally different flavor profiles and starch contents, and you don't find those in the everyday grocery store. They're more of a specialty, come to the farm and get those kind of potatoes. You are starting to see more Japanese sweet potatoes, which have a purple outside and a white inside. Yeah. They're more starchy than a traditional orange sweet potato.
And when you cook them, are they white?
They stay white, yep.
Okay.
And they're, for people that don't like super sweet potatoes, they're your go-to for that.
Okay.
I'm a sweet potato girl.
I like them really sweet, yeah.
These are not in the same family as these potatoes. Okay. So they are potato. They're not a yam. These are true sweet potatoes. There's a difference in the species of the plant. But we're going to talk sweet potatoes. We've got garnet sweet potatoes here, and then we have a traditional variety, the Beauregards.
The Beauregards. That's very southern, I do think.
It is. And most of the potatoes you see in the grocery store are going to be this particular variety because it does so well in the lower south where the soil is very poor and sweet potatoes grow really well. So if they can't get any other crop in, they're going to get a good sweet potato crop. So that's why you see Mississippi, Alabama. You'll also see some North Carolina. That's a big crop in North Carolina, in that middle part of the state where the soil isn't quite as good. And then
What's this?
This is a garnet sweet potato. Okay. And it's a little bit more red. When you cut into it, this is going to be very orangey.
Like a seal laying down.
Oh. And this is going to be a little bit more red on the inside. Okay. So just a little deeper in color. Flavor profile.
Garnet red. Okay. Gotcha.
Very similar. So with sweet potato, you cure a sweet potato when it comes out of the ground?
That's the thing that I wanted to really talk about. I've never heard of curing a sweet potato, but let's talk about what that does and why that is. You don't just pull them right out of the ground and eat them.
A potato, whether it's this kind of potato or a sweet potato, when it comes out of the ground, the skin is very soft. Okay. You can just flick it off with your fingernail. Okay. It's not going to store if it has all that bacteria that can get right to the flesh. So what you want to do is you want to take it out very carefully. A lot of times we'll leave a lot of dirt on them until it dries, and then we can come back and just brush the dirt off. The skin will harden up just like it would on a butternut squash or any other kind of squash, and that is what's called curing. You want about 2 weeks in a nice dark, cool temperature, and that will make the skin harden off a little bit so that if you tap them together, it doesn't automatically bruise the potato. Wow. So you have cured your sweet potatoes. Cured them. And now when you get ready to cook them, you can do one of two things. Some people actually peel them and go ahead and dice them up and cook them that way in the shape that they want. But a lot of times, I'm in a hurry. I'm just going to put them on a baking sheet and throw them in the oven. If you have been roasting something, say you have a pot roast that's come out, your oven's at about 375, and you're thinking, oh man, it's time to turn the oven off. What can I do with that energy? Because energy is expensive now. Right. Put a couple of sweet potatoes on a sheet pan, put it in the oven, leave it overnight, come back the next morning, they're cooked perfectly. Don't waste the oven time. Just low and slow overnight to cool off. It'll work great. Or even faster, if you're going to do them in the microwave, please make sure you remember to take a fork, prick it all the way around, because otherwise it's going to explode on you in the microwave and not be very good. So 3 ways to make sweet potatoes.
Then you take a sledgehammer and chisel just about it to get it out of your microwave.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So they're super easy to use and make and super delicious.
If you want, I love, and I've been to restaurants where they cube them and then roast them with oil on them in the oven. They're so good that way. Do you need to parboil these first before you cut them into cubes?
No. Just peel them. Just take a vegetable peeler, peel them, and then just like you would any other potato, cut them in the shape that you want, the half moons or the cubes or whatever. Okay. And then put them in. toss them with the oil. Grab a mixing bowl.
Yeah.
Put the potatoes in. Toss them with the oil there.
And not drizzle it.
Don't drizzle it because you're going to miss potatoes along the way and you're going to be very sad and look very dry. So go ahead and cook them. Put your seasoning on them. Then spread them out. Make sure you can get air circulation around all the potatoes in the pan.
And do you bake rather than broil?
I put them in about 400 degrees and bake them. 400
degrees, bake them. That's how you get those wonderful cubed roasted potatoes. And we don't have them here, but what about those little tiny potatoes now that are so popular in the little bags?
Oh, the little fingerling style potatoes. They're wonderful, and you can get a great color variation. You can get from purple to red to white to yellow. Those are roasting potatoes.
Okay.
You're going to cut them in half or even roast them whole. Do the same thing. Put them in the bowl. Coat them with whatever avocado oil or regular oil.
First?
No, you don't need
you don't need. That's what I thought. I thought you could even eat the peel.
Usually, if you get them in a bag in the store, they've already washed them. If you're going to wash them, dry them.
Okay.
Don't put them in wet with the oil. Dry them off. Pat them with a paper towel. Then put the oil. Put them in with salt and pepper. Roast them about the same temperature. 10-15 minutes depending on the size. Things that people forget is you want things to be even size. So it cooks evenly. So if you've got some that are this big and some that are this big, then cut this one in half.
Okay.
Get them to the right size so they all cook at the same time.
I love that. My favorite recipe, some people call it potato soup. Well, my Aunt Leslie used to make this, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever had. Aunt Leslie would have a big bowl, and she called them new potatoes. New potatoes, and she called them potatoes. And there were a bunch of them that were still little bitty like that. And she would put them in and stew them down. She called it stewed potatoes. But it was basically potato soup, and she left some of the chunks in there, and oh my lordy, that was some homemade cornbread. So good and comforting this time of year.
Absolutely.
Didn't need any cheese or anything put in it. It was so good.
And she was ahead of her time because she was doing what most restaurateurs do. When you get potatoes, they're sorted by size. A is the biggest one, like this guy right here. And then you have the next size down. Half that size would be a B. And then a quarter of that size is a C. And then you have creamers. And the creamers are those little bitty ones, like you were saying, that she left in the pot. That now I want that soup really bad, Devon. And why did you have to bring up potato soup? Because now I want it.
I know.
Let's go find Aunt Lizzie's recipe.
I know. We got Aunt Lizzie. We're thinking of you. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about Amber Falls Winery.
These in particular do very well here in Middle Tennessee. Well, I believe a lot of it has to do with our soil content. We've got very rocky, chert, clay, and not a whole lot of just dirt in the soil. I believe that they like all the heat and the moisture and things. These tend to be a little more resistant to a lot of the funguses that we get. They tend not to burn under extreme heat. They actually seem to thrive with all of that. Middle Tennessee here grows probably the best Chamberson that I've had. I'm not just bragging on us, but several vineyards here in Middle Tennessee grow very, very high quality Chamberson, probably the best in the United States from my experience. We've even had people from other Chamberson regions bragging on their wines and come and taste ours, and their basic reaction is just, oh,
wow.
Right. They're not expecting it. The Chambersons tend to be very, very light in color, very light in flavor. Middle Tennessee Chamberson tends to be much darker, much more full in flavor and color and all of those things.
My name is Scott Peck, and I'm a chef here at the Loveless Cafe, and I've been here for 8 years. People have been coming to the Loveless for 70 years just because of the old school feel we have, the family atmosphere, and we've been able to keep our traditions alive just by taking the classic Southern food and putting just kind of different twists on it. So we have to get here pretty early in the morning. At 3 a.m. actually we go out to the smokehouse, and that's where we get started. That pulled pork takes quite a while to smoke. The barbecue pork omelet, just a little bit different spin on your classic breakfast omelet. My best tip for reinventing breakfast would be just bringing in different ingredients you don't typically see in breakfast and really just kind of play with your food a little bit, just add some more stuff to it. I think cast iron is essential when making breakfast because it gives you just a more rich flavor.
All right, thanks for joining us today. We're at Apple Valley Orchard, and we have Chuck McSpadden with us, the owner and operator, and today we're going to show you about pruning an apple tree. This is a dwarf tree, and as you can see with the rootstock that this tree's on, and we won't get into rootstocks, but basically what the rootstock does is control the growth of the tree. And one thing about dwarf trees is if the rootstock is so fragile that the root system is not as extensive enough to hold the tree, so therefore we have to use some support of some sort. And Chuck's got this one supported really, really well. One thing that you look for in pruning a tree is limbs down at the bottom that are large enough to handle the fruit load. And Chuck's done a very good job of getting limbs out away from this, out growing on this tree to where they can handle some fruit. What we're going to do is kind of go through and tell you what you need to cut off and what you can leave to produce fruit. One thing we want to do is find the water sprouts that's on this tree. What water sprouts are normally stems that grew last year and they grow straight up. They're not going to be very productive even if they produce fruit, and the chances of them falling over when they get fruit and breaking out of the limb is very great. So we want to go ahead and take those off. And this was one right here. We're just going to cut that off. We're going to cut as close to this limb as we can in hopes that it doesn't grow back, because there's buds around these and you don't want them to come back out. There's also a limb we call a hanger. Hangers come off the bottoms of the limbs, and the reason we take the hangers off like that one is this limb is growing down. It's going to be shaded by the limbs above it, and the fruit that it does produce will not be as desirable as fruit that gets full sun and can grow properly. What we want to leave is these side branches that come off, and the terminal ends are okay, but what we want to do is kind of remove some of those that's growing up in order to let more sunlight in. And the key to great fruit production is having a tree open enough where sunlight can come in and get to that fruit, and you'll get more sugars in the fruit, you'll get better color, and it's also easier to maintain too, for us as homeowners.
So, I got a DUI. Mom, Dad.
Why didn't you just call someone for a ride?
I wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't think I was gonna get caught. Yeah, my best friend Tim.
Still coming to my bachelor party next month?
This DUI cost me 10 grand, so no. Yeah, you, in the back.
Did you know I almost died when you hit me?
I didn't think this would affect so many people.
You think it was worth it?
No more questions.
Jessica with Lowe's, and I'm going to show you how to keep your push mower in top shape so next time you use it, it'll start right up and cut clean. Now for some things to do at the end of the cutting season. First, disconnect the spark plug, turn the mower on its side, and check the blade. If it's dull, damaged, or bent, replace it. To remove the blade, block the blade from turning and loosen the bolt. Take off the blade, bolt, and washers. Then the new blade is ready to go on. With the blade blocked, replace the bolt and washers and tighten. Then reattach the spark plug wire. Next, replace the oil. Run the mower for a minute to make it easier to drain. Turn it off, disconnect the spark plug, and remove the oil cap. Tip the mower air filter up and drain the oil into a container. You can rock the mower to remove any trapped oil. Once empty, set the mower down and wipe up any spills. Slowly pour oil in the fill spout, checking the level frequently with the dipstick. When full, let the oil settle for a few minutes and check again. Do not overfill. Retighten the cap and reconnect the spark plug. Then dispose of the old oil properly. Clean the air filter by removing the cover and gently clean the cartridge with a soft brush. If it's really dirty, replace it. To prepare the fuel system on a gasoline-powered mower for storage, follow the instructions for your mower and engine. Manufacturers may instruct you to run the fuel system dry or to store the mower with a full tank mixed with the fuel stabilizer. It's a good idea to replace the spark plug once a season. If you're storing your mower for the winter, to keep the cylinder lubricated, squirt an ounce of oil into the spark plug hole before replacing the plug. Finally, take a look at the muffler to make sure it's not badly rusted or loose. Then use some spray lubricant on the moving parts, like the handle mounting pins. Okay, now your mower is ready to store in a dry, clean place. And that's it. With a little bit of care and maintenance, your mower can provide you with years of reliable service.
When you have a mess of peas, that means you've got a little bit of lots of different varieties. So we tend to cook all of those together, and that's known as a mess of peas. So in order to make these, you're going to take a little bit of bacon grease that we've stored in the refrigerator, and that's going to melt over about a medium flame in your saucepan. Okay, as that's melting, we're going to go ahead and add water, about a cup, to the pan. We're going to do it just a little bit at a time. Then we're going to add our peas, all the peas that are shelled. Then we're going to sprinkle this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Not much salt because you've got the bacon grease in there. And then you're going to pour the rest of your water over the top. And then cook that at a medium flame for about 30 to 35 minutes. You can leave it covered or uncovered. If it's uncovered, increase your heat. If it's covered, decrease your heat to medium.
Christmas for Kids is back at the Ryman this November 21st. Christmas for Kids provides children with shopping sprees, coats, and unforgettable experiences every year. This annual fundraising concert helps bring that experience to more kids. This year is hosted by Phil Vassar and includes Chris Young, the frontman, which is Richie McDonald, formerly of Lone Star, Larry Stewart of Restless Heart, Tim Rushlow, formerly of Little Texas, Essex County, and a whole lot more. Christmas for Kids, November 21st. To purchase tickets, go right now to Ryman.com. going to go into backyard living with Swim World's Jay Tucker, and we're going to tour the place. But tell me a little bit about, when did you start Swim World?
My grandfather actually started it in 1968, and so we've been around for a long time, 52 years now, so we've been very fortunate to be around for that amount of time. My wife Amanda and I bought the business from my grandfather in 2004, and so we're continuing the business, and I've expanded it quite from the very beginning days, and so we're fortunate to be able to offer some backyard living, swimming pools, fireplaces, and all that kind of stuff, and help people make memories and enjoy their families and friends.
Hey, tell us what these lockers are.
Well, one of the things that we found is that we had people that maybe couldn't get to us in our normal working hours, and so with our website, when we created our online store, to make it easier for folks, is to be able to come after hours. So it can be at midnight, it could be Sunday, it could be whatever is convenient for you. All you have to do is call us, or you can order online, and whatever the products, maintenance and chemicals, maintenance products, chemicals, and that sort of thing, is that we can put it in our locker system that we have here. So on our front door, we have a code that we would share with you, and then we would put it in the locker that we give you the code. And so you would call in, pay by credit card over the phone or on our website, and then tell us that you would want to pick it up in our locker system. So again, it's your convenience. Whenever it's good for you, you can come and pick up the product and have it here ready to go for us. We also offer delivery, so it's a $50 minimum order. Give us a couple of days just logistically to get it to you, but within a 15-mile radius, which is a majority of our customers that we have here, and we'll deliver to you at no additional charge.
Well, let's take a look at some of the things that you offer. The fire pit has taken on new life in the last 10 years, and this is a gorgeous example. It's filled with fiberglass.
So we do different colors, and this is an electronic ignition fire pit that we can hit a button and it can go poof and the fire come on. We can also do them where we do, the old-fashioned wood burning. And so there's some differences there. A lot of times you want to do the wood burning when you're doing like marshmallows and hot dogs. We don't want to do the gas taste on hot dogs, right? So again, depending on how you want to use the fire pit could determine how it's done. But we do a lot of the natural stone, as you see, and these are custom made, which is really nice.
Oh, beautiful.
But it actually can be a great accent piece in the backyard, and to gather around and sing those campfire songs, right?
And your people do the masonry work.
That's right. We have
wow.
one of the best masonry crews around, and so we do custom kitchens like this that we can do the eggs or different commando grills, or just a standard gas grill. Refrigerators. There's doors and paper towel holders and all kind of stuff that you can make it as big or as little as you want. But all of it's custom. We do natural stone. This is some examples of our dry stack stone that we do, which is really popular. And then we can do.
What is dry stack? What is that called?
See how this is? It looks like it was just stacked on top of each other.
With no mortar.
There is mortar behind it, but it's like the old slave walls, that we see around here, right? And so, but we stack it on there, and there's mortar behind it, so you don't see that. Versus the mortar joints that you see over here, as an example, the mortar in between the stone. Here's a better shot of it there over here that you can see. So this is a mortar joint, and
joint or the flat
dry stack stone.
Dry stack stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can be laid either way, but just depending on what folks want. This is an example of some stone patios that we do as well, and then the back side of the kitchens that have all of the appliances and the different things here.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at this now. There are guys right now that go, I would never go in my house again if I had this as my outdoor kitchen, because the important thing to remember is women are not the ones who are doing all the cooking these days.
That's right.
Men absolutely have become the chefs.
That's right. I'll show you our design process that we have. This is one that we designed. This is a concrete pool that we're looking at doing over in the Franklin area, Tennessee, Franklin. And but we're able to create that backyard before we do anything to make sure that we're all really on the same page. But it's sort of like some of the 3D gaming that
my gosh, look at that.
So we can spin it around, look at different elevations and stuff. We can actually get here, and we can even go into the pool and go swimming and see what the bottom of it looks like. So it's almost like you're out there by it, right? So what this does, this is a tanning laser. We have some of these loungers and some bubblers and stuff there. But let me show you too. We can show you what it can look like at night, which is fun.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So with all the lighting and stuff, so it gives you an idea of what it can look like there. And so there's the fire, fire burning. So it's fun stuff.
Before you ever have a hole in your backyard, you know what your pool is going to look like.
That's exactly right.
That is really great. Well, here down there, do you have a team that helps with landscaping, or you can connect them?
We do. We have a couple of landscapers that we work in conjunction with, and we can team up for that. Also, outdoor lighting and music is nice to have around, speakers and all of that kind of stuff as well. So we can help sort of bring all of that together and make it turnkey. So have it all together under one umbrella. Some of the best memories that I have has been around our pool, especially with our kids now too, growing up, is that we go back and look at some of the photos and the kids, playing in the pool and all that kind of stuff. And that's what it's about, is that with this coronavirus and stuff that we've had, is it has sort of gotten our focus in on what's most important really, and that's our family and our health. And that's the nice thing about a swimming pool in a backyard area. It sort of brings all of that together and be able to have some good experiences and improve our lives, right?
Absolutely. Well, tell me how people can find you.
Awesome. You can go to our website, and it's swimworldpool, no S on the pool.com. You can call us here at the store at 615-452-POOL, which is 7665. So 615-452-7665.
It's time for Green Door Gourmet's Holiday Market. It's the last day. Today till 4, you can enjoy all sorts of vendors, over 25 of them with great gifts, great produce, and a whole lot more. That's today till 4 at Green Door Gourmet.
We're here with Chef Chris McCorkle from Black Diamond Culinary. What is Black Diamond Culinary?
So Black Diamond Culinary got created about 6 years ago from an inspiration of Chef Bob Wagner in Charleston, South Carolina. He worked with my former husband, Jean-Claude, at the Wild Boar Restaurant, if anybody knows the Wild Boar Restaurant in Nashville. It was a totally fabulous restaurant. And Bob moved to Charleston, and he did a few other things, but got tired of being on the road, and he created In the Kitchen with Bob. So my daughter got me hooked on Instagram, and of course, what do? You start looking up people. I ran across Bob, said, what is he doing? Made a trip to Charleston, came back, told my husband, this is what I want to do, teach cooking classes here in Franklin, Tennessee.
So you have people come in and learn as a corporate event?
So we do corporate events, we do private cooking lessons, we do bachelorette parties, we do couples nights, we do just guys nights, girls nights, and we teach several different kind of cooking classes, whatever your desire is to learn.
Do you ever do private dinners?
We do private dinners, and a lot of times when I do a private dinner, I'm doing most of the cooking. Everybody's just drinking and having fun.
Joining us for Devon's table and Sylvia's table, because Green Door Gourmet is where you can find the produce we talk about, the meats we talk about, the herbs and all the goodness and the prepared foods, and the wine, Amber Falls Winery. It's located in Hampshire, Tennessee, if you want to go, close to the actual source and see the grapes on the vine, or you can go to the tasting room at Opry Mills Mall or join their wine club and have it shipped to you wherever you are. We are here each and every week, and we are so glad that you are too. Remember, follow, subscribe, and share. And if you're looking for a blessing, remember, you got to first be one.